Immanuel Kant was born on April 22, 1724, into a Prussian-German family in Königsberg, East Prussia. Prussia was a historically prominent German state on the southeast coast of the Baltic Sea. At the time of his birth, it was Prussia's most northeastern city.
At the age of 16, Kant enrolled at the University of Königsberg. There he would receive his bachelor's, master's, and PhD in philosophy. After receiving those degrees, he was a lecturer of anthropology at the University of Königsberg for 24 years, from 1772 until his retirement in 1796.
Kant lived and worked in Königsberg his whole life. He never showed interest in leaving. Everyone in town knew his daily routine so well that they set their clocks to his morning walks.
Kant was greatly influenced by Scottish Enlightenment philosopher David Hume and German philosophers Gottfried Wilhelm Leibniz and Christian Wolff. Kant would go on to write about many different topics, including history, religion, politics, philosophy, anthropology, and astronomy. His work mostly focused on philosophy, and one of his greatest contributions to the discipline was the merging of rationalism and empiricism.
In one of the most influential books in philosophy, The Critique of Pure Reason, written by Kant, he writes in a section titled Anticipations of Perception about reality, and how we can't see all of reality through our senses. Kant attempts to prove what we can call the principle of intensive magnitudes, or PIM. He explains that every possible object of experience will, as a matter of a priori and transcendental necessity, display some determinate degree of continuous or intensive magnitude of reality. Kant claims that one cannot give an exhaustive mathematical description of an object by its size and shape alone, because if two objects were the exact same size, they could hold different masses. Kant explains that sensations are intensive magnitudes. This premise is what leads to his contributions in sensation and perception, as well as epistemology, the study of learning. Kant influenced many facets of our learning of ourselves and our view of reality. He believed in God and defended theism, the belief in gods or gods, by explaining that our understanding of reality is limited, and we can never attain knowledge about God or the soul. And attention to sensations and the sensible priorities of bodies, Kant also indicates that the very material of physical bodies is a kind of reality, and in turn possesses an intensive magnitude. This is a sharp difference between his thoughts of our bodies and his predecessors like Descartes. As he put it, the nature of the body consists in weight, hardness, color, or the like, but simply an extension of the soul. Both are very different from the atomists, who believe our bodies are just made of atoms with no soul. According to Kant's dynamical theory of matter, solid bodies are a result of interaction between two forces, and physical density is subsequently determined by the interaction of attractive and repulsive forces. Since the degrees of the two forces can vary continuously, the density of matter can also vary continuously. Kant made his mark on intellectuals throughout the years since his death. He believed world peace was achievable through universal democracy, and thought that the world was leading to one rule. He believed that if we do a kindness to an unfortunate, we have not given him something for nothing, but repaid him for what we were helping to take away through general injustice. He thought that the general injustice would be solved through universal government based on helping one another. He was a proponent of respecting others' reality and their pursuit of happiness.
Kant was among the first people of his time to introduce anthropology as an intellectual area of study long before it gained popularity as its own field. He viewed anthropology in two broad categories: a physiological approach of what nature makes of the human being, and a pragmatic approach that explored the things humans can and should make of themselves. He went on to write the book Anthropology from a Pragmatic Point of View, which he would later use as a textbook for his lectures at the University of Königsberg. Kant felt that psychology should be kept separate from the other disciplines. He argued that psychology could only be an empirical science because having rational knowledge of the soul was not realistically attainable. He considered psychology to be a soft science because it studies qualities, while real science, like mathematics, studies quantities.
As Kant's health became worse, he died in Königsberg on February 12, 1804, uttering, It's good, it is good," before passing away.
He was laid to rest in a mausoleum that is connected to the Königsberg Cathedral in present-day Kaliningrad, Russia.
His work has changed the ideology of ethics and psychology by looking at sensation and perception in a new way, although he contributed many different aspects of our understanding of reality and aesthetics.
Kant's work later went on to influence philosophers and psychologists in the 19th century. He laid down a foundation for not only philosophers, but psychologists and anthropologists as well, that people still use to this day.